As we move through life, most of us carry a quiet worry in the back of our minds about what will happen when we can no longer fully take care of ourselves. It's a thought that tends to stay hidden until the signs of aging start showing up in the small things, chores becoming heavier, errands taking more energy, or isolation creeping in when once simple tasks start feeling complicated. For many, this is the moment when fear sets in, because the default assumption is that a nursing home is the only place left to go when independence begins to slip away. But that idea is far from the truth. The reality is that there are multiple paths forward that allow you to stay in familiar surroundings, maintain your dignity, and continue living life in a way that feels true to who you are. This video is all about exploring those paths. I'll walk you through 5 meaningful alternatives to nursing homes, options that offer support without stripping away your autonomy. These aren't vague concepts or idealistic dreams. They're practical, real solutions that countless older adults have already used to stay comfortable, safe, engaged, and empowered in their later years. If you're someone who values your independence but also understands the importance of planning ahead, then the next few minutes might make a world of difference for how you think about aging. And even if you aren't at that stage yet, chances are that someone you love will need these insights one day. So let's take this journey together, starting with one of the most flexible and effective alternatives available today. The first method is home-based care assistance. This approach has become incredibly popular because it lets people receive help without uprooting their lives. Instead of moving into a facility, you stay right where you are, surrounded by your furniture, your memories, your routines, and the comfort of your own home. What makes home-based care so powerful is its adaptability. It doesn't follow a one-size-fits-all model. Instead, it bends to fit your personal needs. Some people might only need help with simple tasks like laundry, cooking, cleaning, or picking up groceries. Others may require more hands-on support with bathing, dressing, or moving safely around the house. The beauty here is that you get to choose the level of care that feels right for you. Even a few hours of assistance each week can transform the quality of someone's life. Imagine not having to worry about whether the house is getting messy, or whether a slippery bathroom could lead to a dangerous fall. Imagine having meals prepared, medications gently reminded, or errands handled without stress. For many seniors, what begins as a small adjustment soon becomes the key to staying independent for years longer than they thought possible. And there's something important about that. Asking for help doesn't mean giving up control. In fact, it's a way of protecting it. When you push yourself too hard, the risk of injury or burnout grows. But with the right support, you're able to stay safe and continue doing the things that bring joy to your life. Families have several ways to find the right caregiver. Some choose private caregivers who work independently, while others go through reputable care agencies that provide trained professionals. There are government-funded and non-profit programs as well, which can make care more affordable depending on income and health factors. The key is finding someone who feels like the right fit, someone who respects your habits, your values, and your schedule. To see how life-changing this can be, picture Frank, a retired teacher in his late 70s. After his wife passed away, he tried to keep up with everything on his own but gradually found himself overwhelmed. His daughter gently encouraged him to try a part-time caregiver. At first, he resisted because he thought accepting help meant he wasn't strong anymore. But once he tried it, he realized he had been thinking about it all wrong. With just a few hours of help each week, he suddenly had breathing room again. He had time for hobbies, friends, and the simple pleasure of waking up without dread about the chores waiting for him. That's what home-based care does. It gives you back your energy, your safety, and your peace of mind. Now let's move to the second option, which is community-based senior programs. Aging well isn't only about physical care. It's also about staying engaged, active, and emotionally connected. Many seniors who live alone begin to feel isolated, which can be just as harmful as physical decline. What's encouraging is that many communities now offer impressive support systems designed specifically for older adults who want to stay in their homes but need occasional help, or simply want more companionship. These programs serve as a bridge between full independence and structured care. Senior centers, for example, have become vibrant hubs of activity. These are places where you can join exercise classes, learn new skills, make friends, or simply spend time in a cheerful environment. They often host game nights, craft workshops, fitness sessions, or educational talks that keep the mind sharp and the spirit engaged. Instead of sitting alone at home, you become part of a community that energizes you. Meal delivery services are another lifeline, especially if cooking has become tiring or physically difficult. Something as simple as receiving warm, nutritious meals each day can drastically improve health, mood, and energy levels. Knowing that you'll have balanced meals without struggling in the kitchen brings comfort and stability to the daily routine. Transportation programs are also incredibly valuable. When driving becomes unsafe, many seniors feel trapped at home. Suddenly, errands, appointments, and social outings begin to disappear from the calendar. But several communities offer shuttle services, volunteer drivers, or discounted rides that give seniors the freedom to keep moving. Margaret's story is a perfect example. After she stopped driving, she found herself slipping into loneliness even though she loved going to church, attending book clubs, and staying active in her community. When she discovered her local senior transportation program, everything changed. Every week, a shuttle picked her up for her activities. She returned to her routines, made new friends, and regained her sense of purpose. She didn't have to depend on her adult children for every ride, and she no longer felt like a burden. There is also emotional support built into many community programs. Volunteer visitor initiatives match seniors with friendly companions who drop by regularly for conversation, walks, or small tasks. These connections lighten the emotional load of living alone. Programs also exist to support caregivers by providing temporary relief so family members can rest without worrying about their loved one's safety. These offerings make community programs incredibly effective for seniors who want to avoid the drastic shift of moving into a nursing home. You remain in your own environment but still receive meaningful support and connection. Now let's move to the third alternative: co-housing or shared living arrangements. Many people assume that aging means living alone or transitioning into a formal care facility. But shared living is becoming a refreshing and inspiring option for those who want to remain independent but don't want to face each day without companionship. Co-housing is flexible. Some people choose to live with family members, while others team up with friends or join established senior co-housing communities. The central idea is to create a supportive living environment where everyone contributes and everyone benefits. One of the biggest advantages is the financial relief. Housing costs, maintenance expenses, and utilities can become heavy burdens in retirement. Sharing a home with others cuts these costs significantly, allowing seniors to stretch their savings and still enjoy a comfortable lifestyle. But beyond the financial aspect, co-housing addresses an emotional need. It creates a daily sense of community. You might share meals, help one another with small tasks, or simply enjoy casual conversations that make a house feel warm. These small, everyday interactions can dramatically reduce loneliness, which is one of the most common and dangerous issues older adults face. Robert's story illustrates this beautifully. After losing his wife, he spent most days alone watching television. His daughter suggested he consider moving in with two close friends who were in similar circumstances. Once they decided to share a home, everything changed. They cooked together, fixed things around the house, played cards in the evenings, and supported one another through the ups and downs of daily life. Robert didn't lose his independence, he gained a community. He regained motivation, joy, and a renewed sense of purpose that had been missing for years. Co-housing can take many shapes. Some seniors prefer to live with family, where an adult child or relative provides support in exchange for shared responsibilities. Others prefer living with a friend or joining a neighborhood-style senior co-housing community, where each person has their own private living space but shares common areas and activities. The important thing is that you maintain control over your life. Shared living isn't about giving up privacy. It's about adding companionship and support to your daily routine in a way that feels natural and fulfilling. And that brings us to the fourth method: aging in place by modifying your home. Many people want to stay in the house they've lived in for decades, but the layout or structure may not be designed with aging in mind. Over time, stairs become steeper, bathrooms become riskier, and certain rooms become harder to access. These challenges push many seniors toward nursing homes, not because they want to leave their homes, but because their homes aren't safe anymore. The good news is that with the right modifications, almost any home can be transformed into a safe and supportive place to grow older. As we shift into another meaningful option, it becomes clear that the idea of staying in your own home isn't only about whether you can physically manage the space. It's also about whether the space can adapt to you. Many people don't realize how dramatically the right home adjustments can change the future. Growing older doesn't mean abandoning the place you love. Sometimes it simply means helping your home grow older with you. When we talk about aging in place, we're often referring to a home that evolves to match your changing needs. And when done thoughtfully, these modifications don't just make life easier, they can actually restore confidence, independence, and comfort. For example, bathrooms can be one of the most dangerous rooms for seniors, yet with a few key adjustments, they transform into safe, manageable spaces. Simple changes like replacing a slippery tub with a walk-in shower, adding sturdy grab bars, or laying down non-slip flooring can drastically reduce the risk of falls. Lighting is another overlooked factor. A well-lit home doesn't just brighten the mood, it prevents missteps, especially for those navigating the house at night. And open floor plans or widened pathways can make moving around much smoother, especially if mobility challenges arise later. Technology also plays a surprisingly helpful role. Older adults often assume new gadgets will be too complicated, but modern systems are becoming incredibly intuitive. Voice-controlled lighting, motion-sensing night lights, medical alert devices, and smart locks all contribute to peace of mind, both for you and for anyone supporting you. They create a safety net that works quietly in the background, offering help without feeling intrusive. One woman I remember meeting some time ago was deeply attached to the home she had lived in for over 40 years. The thought of leaving filled her with dread, not just because of the memories connected to the place, but because she feared losing her independence and identity. But after a few simple adjustments recommended by an occupational therapist, like rearranging her furniture, upgrading her bathroom, improving lighting, and installing a small stair lift, she realized she didn't need to give up her home at all. She told me that these changes didn't only make her house safer, they made her feel capable again, as if she had taken back control of her life. Stories like hers aren't rare. They remind us that sometimes the biggest improvements come from small, practical steps. Now, moving from physical adjustments to a more human element, there's another option that many families find surprisingly effective: living with a companion or joining a home-sharing arrangement. It's a concept that blends practical support with emotional connection, creating an environment where both independence and companionship thrive. Unlike professional care or facility living, this kind of arrangement offers someone to share the space with, someone who can check in, help with small tasks, and simply be present. These companions aren't meant to take full responsibility for your life. Instead, they offer balance. For instance, some programs match seniors with younger adults, often students or professionals, who provide help around the house in exchange for reduced rent. Others match seniors with someone close to their own age who also prefers a shared living arrangement. This creates a dynamic where both parties contribute. The senior gains support, and the companion gains affordable housing and meaningful daily interaction. The emotional benefits of this arrangement are often greater than people expect. Loneliness is a quiet struggle for many older adults, especially when loved ones live far away or when mobility becomes more limited. Having someone around, someone who genuinely enjoys your company, can be incredibly uplifting. Simple daily routines like sharing morning coffee, exchanging stories, or sitting together during meals become the heartbeats of everyday life. They create a sense of belonging that can be difficult to achieve alone. I once heard about an older man who joined an intergenerational home-sharing program. He opened his home to a university student studying social work. The young man helped with grocery shopping, carried heavy items, and checked in daily just to see how things were going. In return, he paid a fraction of normal rent and gained a peaceful home environment that allowed him to focus on his studies. What made their arrangement special, though, was the bond they formed. They shared meals, exchanged life lessons, and even developed a weekly movie night tradition. The older man said the presence of someone in the house made him feel safe again, and the student described the experience as having a second family. It was a relationship built not on obligation, but on mutual goodwill and shared life. Companion living isn't only for those who prefer a quiet home. There are programs designed specifically to match personalities, lifestyles, and expectations. Some arrangements emphasize friendship, while others focus more on practical support. The beauty is that these setups can be flexible and tailored. They can be short-term, long-term, structured, or informal. And they often cost far less than traditional long-term care facilities, making them accessible for people who want an affordable alternative that still offers genuine connection. As we continue tying everything together, it becomes clear that all these options, whether home-based care, community programs, shared living, home modifications, or companion arrangements, exist because the traditional path of moving into a nursing home doesn't suit everyone. The truth is, many people want choices that respect their dignity, preserve their identity, and allow them to stay connected to the lives they've built. And while nursing homes do serve important purposes, especially for those who need complex medical care, they aren't the only answer for those who simply need help navigating daily life. When you step back and look at the big picture, you realize that independence in old age is less about doing everything yourself and more about creating a support system that fits your personality, your goals, and your comfort level. It's about acknowledging that needing help is not a sign of failure, it's part of the human experience. The real strength lies in planning ahead, staying informed, and making choices that align with how you want to live. As we approach the end of this journey through the 5 alternatives, it becomes easier to understand why so many people feel relieved when they discover how many paths exist beyond the traditional nursing home model. Each option opens a door to a different kind of life, one that can be warm, familiar, connected, safe, and full of purpose. Whether that means staying in your home with a bit of daily assistance, participating actively in your community, adjusting your living space to suit your changing needs, sharing your home with someone who offers companionship, or joining a collaborative living arrangement, the possibilities are real and attainable. The important thing is recognizing that you deserve choices. You deserve a future shaped not by fear, but by thoughtful decisions. And just as importantly, the people who love you deserve the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're supported in ways that are both effective and compassionate. As we wrap up, let's take one more moment to acknowledge what truly matters: staying connected to the life you cherish, nurturing your sense of independence, and embracing support that uplifts rather than limits you. These 5 alternatives are more than practical solutions. They are pathways toward maintaining dignity, comfort, and a fulfilling daily life as you age. If you found this exploration helpful or learned something new that might reshape your future plans, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit. Conversations like these help families prepare, reduce stress, and make thoughtful, confident decisions for the road ahead.